In a surprising turn of events, Hamas has officially agreed to resume ceasefire talks, marking a potential shift in the long-standing conflict. This decision comes after months of stalled negotiations and escalating tensions in the region. However, this agreement is contingent upon a significant condition. Hamas is demanding that the United States provides a formal, written guarantee to enforce any deal that is reached. This is a crucial element for them to proceed. This bold demand, which was officially announced on July 3, 2025, adds a new layer of complexity to the already intricate peace process. It effectively puts the United States squarely at the center of the peace process, placing significant pressure on Washington to take a more proactive role. This move is challenging Washington to transition from its traditional role as a mediator to that of a guarantor, ensuring that all parties adhere to the terms of any agreement. For months, previous negotiations have repeatedly collapsed, plagued by a lack of trust and a series of disagreements that seemed impossible to overcome. These failures were largely fueled by deep mistrust between the involved parties, making any progress incredibly difficult. The situation has been further complicated by ongoing violence, which has only served to exacerbate the existing tensions and undermine any efforts towards peace. As a result of the conflict, Gaza remains devastated, with widespread destruction and a severe impact on its infrastructure. The situation has led to a humanitarian crisis that is worsening by the day, with shortages of essential supplies and a growing number of people in need of assistance. Hamas's shift in strategy, marked by this conditional agreement, could signal a sense of desperation to find a resolution to the ongoing crisis. But it also represents a new strategy, a calculated move to leverage international involvement in securing a lasting ceasefire. The goal is to force the U.S. to commit its credibility and resources to ensuring that any peace agreement is fully implemented and upheld by all sides. The Biden administration now faces a pivotal choice that could have far-reaching consequences for the region. Washington must decide whether to step up as an active enforcer of any potential agreement, committing to ensuring its terms are met, or it must consider the risk that the talks could collapse once again, leading to further instability and suffering. This bold move by Hamas has injected a rare sense of hope, however fragile and tentative it may be, into a situation that has long seemed intractable. It offers a glimmer of possibility in a conflict that has been long defined by despair, loss, and seemingly endless cycles of violence. The world is watching closely to see if this moment can finally break the cycle of endless war and pave the way for a more peaceful future in the region. The latest Gaza conflict, a devastating escalation in a long and complex history, has brought unprecedented destruction and suffering to the region, impacting every facet of life. The human cost is staggering. Tens of thousands have died, their lives tragically cut short amidst the violence. And heartbreakingly, many of them are women and children, innocent victims caught in the crossfire, their futures stolen. The infrastructure is in ruins, as homes, schools and hospitals lie in ruins, leaving the population without essential services and support. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million residents are displaced, forced from their homes and communities, struggling for the basic necessities of food, water and shelter, their lives hanging by a thread. A severe blockade has pushed the population further into despair, to the brink of famine, with widespread hunger and desperation becoming the norm. Tragically, aid is barely trickling in, unable to meet the overwhelming needs of the population. Children face malnutrition and trauma, bearing the brunt of this crisis with unimaginable suffering. The very fabric of society is unraveling, while every system, healthcare, education, the economy, has collapsed, leaving the population without hope for the future. This humanitarian catastrophe makes a ceasefire not just urgent, but absolutely critical to alleviate the suffering. It is a matter of survival for millions, a race against time to prevent further loss of life. The new talks are a direct response to this desperate situation, to a crisis that can no longer be ignored by the international community, demanding immediate and decisive action. Hamas's core demand, at the heart of these negotiations, is a U.S. guarantee. They want assurance that any ceasefire will be fully and effectively enforced. They fear a temporary truce, a mere pause in the conflict, would only allow Israel to regroup, rearm, and then resume attacks. Decades of broken ceasefires and unfulfilled promises have left Hamas deeply distrustful of Israeli intentions and commitments. Only the U.S., with its considerable influence over Israel, is seen as uniquely capable of ensuring compliance with any agreement. This puts the Biden administration in a tough spot: accept a deeper, more proactive role, or risk the talks failing completely. For Hamas, it's a calculated gamble to force the U.S. to choose between passive mediation and active enforcement. The outcome will test American resolve and could reshape the region's future for better or worse. If negotiations succeed, offering a glimmer of hope in these trying times, the immediate result would be a ceasefire, a cessation of hostilities that could save countless lives. This ceasefire would allow for desperately needed relief to reach Gaza's civilians who have endured unimaginable suffering. Hostage and prisoner exchanges could follow, offering a chance for families to be reunited after agonizing separations. This could then lead to a phased Israeli withdrawal from the region, de-escalating tensions on the ground. Following the withdrawal, international aid would be crucial for reconstruction, helping to rebuild shattered communities. World leaders have expressed cautious optimism, acknowledging the potential for progress. They are seeing a chance to finally end a humanitarian nightmare that has gripped the region for far too long. Success here could also prevent a wider regional conflict, averting a catastrophic escalation. Yet, deep mistrust and the presence of hardliners on both sides pose a significant threat. These elements threaten to derail progress, pushing the region back towards further violence. The path to lasting peace is fraught with obstacles, requiring careful navigation and unwavering commitment. But the stakes could not be higher, with the future of the region hanging in the balance. The world is holding its breath, watching every development with intense scrutiny. All are hoping this fragile opening leads to real change, ushering in a new era of stability. After so much bloodshed and devastation, the question remains, hanging heavy in the air: is genuine peace finally within reach, or will this opportunity slip away? The answer now depends on the courage, wisdom, and choices of all involved, as they stand at this critical crossroads.